I'm Dr. Stone, of course, and I'm here with our famous children, Sacred Stone and Savannah Stone. And the reason we're here is that one of Savannah's schoolmates shared that she wishes her parents would speak to her without yelling. We know we have some yelling in our home too sometimes. So I thought we would actually ask them how to handle these situations, how to get what we need done without the yelling. So we're going to, I took a bunch of questions from people and we're going to go through them one at a time. And we're going to hear from the kids, how we can get this accomplished without the yelling, because I don't like the yelling. Parents don't like the yelling either. So finally we'll get this solved. All right. So problem number one that came up was interrupting. So when the child wants to get mom or dad's attention, it says, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy," and maybe dad is talking to somebody else. Ask them to stop, and they keep going, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy." And then dad has to beat them down. How can we get... So what is the need here? The need is to wait, right? Mm-hmm. Patience. And of course the child's need is...
help or whatever.
Something. They want attention, they want help. So what do you think might work?
Well, the first thing that comes to my mind is, like, if, like, it's something important that you're bringing the child to or whatever, that you, like, pretty sure you're going to get an important conversation that you probably don't want to be interrupted with, you could say, like, at first, like, say you're going into, like, a building to see if this guy likes you for a job, and you're bringing your kid, and you probably would just want to give them a heads up. Hey, we're going in here, and I want you to be on your best behavior, and I'm probably going to get in a talk, and I really would like it if you would just hold your questions till we get out of the building.
Okay. So preempting.
Mm-hmm.
So putting a rule ahead of time.
Yeah.
Giving a warning, that's always good.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Let's say that it's too late. We missed the preempting, and she's going, "Mama, Mama, Mama." Mm-hmm. Well,
I have a suggestion.
Okay, go.
Well, you could... I'm bad at this stuff. Well, this isn't like the best suggestion, but you could be like, "Hey, just a second, here's my phone, play a game, I need to talk." That's not a suggestion. I told you it's not a very good suggestion.
Yeah.
But it's
Let's think about
better.
this from a need perspective. What is the kid needing?
To play a game or to...
Why would they want mama's attention?
They want a cup of water. They want some ice cream. Or they want to go because it's
Probably
getting
they
boring.
want something for sure.
Yeah.
Now,
They want more water.
what if they want to tell you that the TV is on fire?
Then that's bad. So you want to know.
I bet the parent would want to know.
If the TV is on fire.
Yep.
So you should probably... Well, yeah, that brings up a good point. You should probably at least say, "What? But can you make it quick because I'm in the middle of a conversation and it's kind of important." And they say, "I need a cup of water." Or then you can say, "You can wait just a second. I'm almost done with the conversation." And they say, "The TV's on fire and the house is burning down."
Mm-hmm.
Then you probably say, the TV's on fire and the house is burning down to the person you're talking to, you probably want to get out of the house, so I take it. And call the fire department or whatever. Yep.
So, what we're saying here is to actually give them a listen. Say,
Yeah.
okay, what is it that you need?
Make it quick.
Quickly,
Yeah.
so that you can assess. And
Not
then
too quickly, because then you won't
And
understand.
maybe with like the thing of like waiting, like telling ahead of time, you could probably be like, say, hey, if it's something super important, like the house is on fire or there's bad guys robbing or something weird like that. But then you can tell me, but if it's not extremely important, then please wait until I'm done. Like, that would probably like be the best thing to do ahead of time.
And maybe define
Mm-hmm.
like what an emergency is,
Yeah.
and then maybe there would be a certain way to approach
Yeah.
with an emergency.
Mhm.
You make a sign or something.
Mhm.
But I think sometimes a little person doesn't know. They may want a glass of water, and it feels like an emergency
Yeah.
to them, right?
So if it's like only if it's an emergency, then it's
But
like,
they need to know what an
yeah.
emergency
Yeah. So like give
means.
an example of an emergency or like a couple of examples
Yeah.
of an emergency.
Like, I'm gonna die.
Okay. But move on to the next question.
Next question. Okay, let me just sum up for. So we're gonna preempt as much as possible, saying when I'm in this meeting or when so and so comes over, we're going to be busy. So please minimize the interruptions unless it's an emergency.
You probably won't.
Here's what emergency looks like, and here's what it doesn't look like. And then when the mama comes, assess for an emergency and keep teaching them the different situations. Like, okay, that's not really an emergency, honey. Here's what constitutes an emergency, and you kind of keep going back and forth like that. So it becomes a teaching situation. I like it. Okay, now the next 10 were all about, well, we'll break it into two. Wanting something and then needing to do something. So needing to do the chores, clean the house, clean the bedroom, put away dishes. Let's do the I want a new Barbie doll. I need a new video game. Not right now. And then on and argue and argue and argue. I need that, I need that, I need that. And stop asking me! So neither of us like that.
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is, like, maybe that's something you can work up to. Like, but then if they're like,
Save up.
yeah, but then if they're like, hey, but you're my parent and you're supposed to get me the things that I need and want. Like, I don't want to I don't want to seem to my kid that I'm a bad parent or whatever. Like, 'cause
By not spending money.
Yeah.
Well, is it really a bad parent? I mean,
No, it's not really.
It's a good parent.
if you becoming the most responsible and resourceful possible is a sign of a good parent. Like, would that result indicate a good parent?
Yeah.
So when somebody gives something to somebody, it doesn't teach any resources.
Yeah.
And it doesn't teach any responsibility.
Mhm.
So I don't think we need to defend how good of a parent we are. We need to keep focused on, is my child becoming more responsible and resourceful?
Yeah.
Because then they feel good.
Mhm.
So let's go back to what you said.
Like,
Show them how to give it.
yeah.
So what would that look like?
It would be like, you get $1 a week, you can do extra chores in the house or whatever. Like, you can.
So they got an allowance,
Mhm.
so you can help them create like a budget
Mhm.
if they have an allowance, or
Like, maybe you can create something like that.
create some tasks, something that would be of value to the parent
Yeah.
that they would be willing to give them money for,
Yeah.
and then actually sit down and.
Mhm.
So I like that. Imagine that, parents. I want a Barbie! I want a Barbie! I want a Barbie! Great, Sacred! I want you to have a Barbie. Let's look at your budget. Let's plan this out. It looks like by the time you're 75, you will get a new Barbie. Unless you change our snow tires. But you're creating things for them to do to actually be responsible to get the. So you never. I love it. You never have to yell again. I want. I want. I want. Great. Let's figure this out. I want you to have it too. I want you to know how to get it. Genius.
And then once they
You're welcome.
go through all that, then they'll be like, I don't want to do that again. But then, if they do want to do it,
They might find that actually working isn't worth the stupid Barbie doll in the end, right?
Yeah.
Or there's an exchange rate. But
yeah.
all right, I'll do the dishes for a week, but man, doing that mopping, I don't think it was worth it.
Mhm.
That's a good lesson, and
Yeah.
only they can learn that lesson.
Mhm.
All right, now this is probably the one that's the hardest for us. So if you guys can come up with the solution here, I will pay you personally. Sacred, can you clean your room? Savannah, it's time to clean your room. Clean your room. Clean your room. Clean your room.
Yeah, this is one we had a lot of time that we needed to think about, but we did come up with some stuff.
Did. My suggestion was to tell them that they can choose any way to clean the room, but they have to clean it.
Like, they have to get it done.
No, they have to get it done. Like,
open to
give them
suggestions.
time. Give them like, you have today to finish your room, and you can find any way you want.
Mhm.
And the other one was working together. Like,
Mhm.
you could like give a trade. Like, if you help me with the dishes, then I'll help you with your room.
Who are you asking? You're asking a parent?
Yeah.
Like, well, the parent is suggesting to the kid.
Oh, I see.
The parent saying, if I help you, if you help me with the dishes, then I'll help you with your room.
Like, because that's the thing I find hard about cleaning the room is it gets so overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, hey, here I kind of have some experience with cleaning. I can help you sort some stuff out, but you need to help me with something of mine first.
Mm-hmm. Would this work for you? Would you actually get the
Mhm.
It would work
room
for me.
clean
Yeah.
if you got a time frame
Yeah. Yeah,
and
but
the flexibility to do it however you wanted to do it?
Mhm.
Except it had to be done.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, cause
And then what if it's not done?
then I think that's the problem part. Like then that's where we came up with other suggestions. Like you say, hey,
But you could do the other one where you could like
You
help them, but in exchange they needed to help you.
what's the other one? We thought of 3 different things.
And we only got 2.
We thought
Yeah.
thought of one more. What was it?
Now here's something that has worked for us that you guys are kind of hinting at,
Mhm.
and I want to just frame it a little bit more clearly is that we sit down nonviolent communication suggests that we should never be holding somebody accountable to something that we don't have their agreement on.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you shouldn't.
Therein lies a lot of resistance when you start telling Sacred that she needs to do her clean her room, and she's like, "What? I never agreed to that." And we think as parents, well, but it's your room. You sleep there, so you are you have to do it. It's well, no, actually you don't, right? You could go years without cleaning your room. So the fact is that you don't have to do it. But why would we agree to do it? Why would we agree to clean our room? Think about that. Why would we agree to do that?
Because, like, if you're just saying it's your room, you have to clean it, then, like, the kid is thinking, well, you're not in there all the time. It's my room. I can do whatever I want with it. Like, if you're thinking that, then, like...
Well, we bump into responsibilities, too. Like, one of the parents shared that her daughter had garbage on the floor, and food and things like that. That it's like now we have a health issue, and right up to the day you turn 18, it's our responsibility to keep you alive. And it seems like our culture really frowns on us letting you guys die. So it's kind of a hard standard.
What the heck, Dad?
So I'm just wanting us to take that into consideration, that we do have to hold some boundaries for safety, for health. So why would we want to? And we've talked about this. We've actually done this in our family, where we sat down and said, how many people here like walking on garbage?
And then, like, no one.
How many people here like walking on clear floors?
Yay!
How many people here like being able to find their things when they want them? How many people here? And we just kept going through that, and so we
kind of
like,
give reasons.
how do we do that?
And then, like, you go around the table and, like, give suggestions. Like, I have a suggestion. How about once a week, everyone comes together, everyone does a quick clean up of their room, and then we have fresh, clean rooms to start the week. And then, like,
do a little bit every day.
And then there's, like, do a little bit every day. And then, like, who votes for doing it every week? Who votes for doing it a little bit every day? And then you finally come to a solution.
And I want to point out, too, there has been a time where, I can't remember who, but they said, okay, yes, I'm agreeable to that goal. What's my contribution towards that? Nothing. And I wasn't agreeable with that. So we didn't have an agreement yet.
Yeah.
So sometimes, and gosh, nobody really likes cleaning, right?
Yeah.
We just like the results of it. So we want to just do it and make it as efficient and painless as possible by doing it the fastest possible.
Yeah.
So then we come to this agreement, and now you were talking about, like, that next step. How do you hold agreements? Hey, it's Sunday and the room isn't clean. You agreed to have it cleaned by Sunday. I agreed to give you complete flexibility in how that was going to work. Our agreement didn't happen. What do you need from me to help you hold that agreement?
Yeah.
And teaching organization, learning organization, sometimes for the parent is helpful.
Yeah.
I can remember one time where we couldn't see the floor in these guys' room, and we made it work pretty quickly by categorizing, right? You guys remember that?
Yeah, where like
And
it
we're
was
like,
like
okay.
Amory and like Gates had like garbage, and then we're like, all right, let's divide the room up.
Oh, we took it by like categories.
Yeah.
Shirts. Everybody grab a shirt around you.
So, this is the shirt
Art.
pile.
Art supplies. Everybody grab the pencils and the pens and the papers and stuff like that. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
And did that make it a lot easier?
Yeah.
A lot faster? So
all working together.
well, I think
I don't
As
think it was
a parent,
just that. I think it was just like having, or like the parent giving that as a suggestion, or like as like as not like just doing it for them. Like saying, okay, why don't you put your shirts right in here, and clean shirts go here, and dirty shirts go here. Pants go here, clean pants here, and dirty pants here. Like.
Yeah, I think we should not assume that you guys know how to do it if it's not getting done. We should always check in on the structure of doing it. Because if you can't see the structure of doing it, well, it's not a matter of, not putting in the time. It's just like, it's paralysis. So even if your child is 16, if you have this problem, maybe we go back and we're like, okay, now let's get our agreements. Because everybody thinks better, feels better in an orderly environment, right?
Yes.
So even if your child is 16 and they're still struggling with cleaning their room, be okay teaching. Again, Sonia said she read somewhere that it takes 1,000 times to learn a structure or something like that. Like how many times do you have to tell your child? It's 1,000. Somebody estimated 1,000 times or something like that. So let's sum this up. Can you do it? Start with the meeting.
Well.
Who likes order?
Yeah, like.
Well, we need this to happen then. Do you agree to help create order? Do you agree to help create order? Who likes eating off of dirty spoons? No. So we get on the same team, and then we create jobs for that, and you have an agreement. And then I love that they said, as 9 and 11-year-old employees, they said, don't micromanage me. That's in people hate that in work, where their manager is like looking over their shoulder and, is that a black pen you're using or is that a blue pen? So that was the one big thing that they said is don't micromanage. Give us a structure, give us a time, and let us do it. And then as a parent, we need to be able to go back behind and hold agreements and hold accountability, which we just do by noticing, hey, I noticed that didn't happen. And we've got to be reasonable and understanding about not keeping boundaries or not keeping agreements, because parents don't keep agreements either, right?
Yeah.
So everybody breaks agreements sometimes, or finds themselves that they agreed to something that, oh man, I really didn't want.
I should not have done that.
And we should give them some flexibility to wiggle if it's possible. So I think that covers the whole thing with responsibilities. So that's like next. Now here's an interesting one. A mom writes in and she says that she placed her daughter in a public school, and she had gone to Montessori for all of preschool and kindergarten and maybe the first. So she had this really neat learning environment that she excelled in, and then she goes into public school and she was actually placed in what they call the gifted program, and she just wasn't learning with the way the teacher was teaching. So the mom appealed to the teacher, nothing ever happened, and then finally they put her into the special needs program, so she was moved from gifted to special needs. And then to the behavioral problem program. Finally, mom took her out of school and did some homeschooling, which at that point she had this negativity towards learning, and that was a big struggle too. So now she's an adult and she's totally freaked about expanding her education, going to school, looking for better jobs. Like, she's kind of paralyzed in providing value to our community. So what the heck do we tell this mom? She obviously, her daughter's an adult, and maybe she does get frustrated sometimes because I know she helps her find work. Sometimes she messes up on it, and she probably yells at her. So how do we? This is a big one, isn't it? How do we?
Yeah.
How do we raise somebody's self-esteem?
I think that like just, I mean, like, I have some experience with like being overwhelmed, just like transitioning from homeschooling to Evergreen. I think that's probably what she was going through, like this big transition, which was like so like overwhelming. And like, I freak out when I get overwhelmed, and like, I think that's probably.
So what do we do about that?
So like,
And we've only got now to do it with. What past is past. So she had those experiences.
She's probably like so overwhelmed that like she doesn't like I don't know, like maybe even feels afraid, like since she got dropped down and dropped down and dropped down, she probably feels afraid to show herself like in an educational way or play. Yeah.
Well, anytime that you bring your painting to Mama, you're showing value. And so when you're told that your value's not okay, you're right.
You probably don't want to do it again.
So if you brought your painting to Mama and she's like, "That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life," you don't bring the next painting to Mom. Or, after a couple tries, you don't do it. So she's frozen now. She's frozen, paralyzed, afraid. How do we get her to show Mom her painting again, or express herself as a value?
Yeah. I think probably just, I don't know, like, maybe, like, the mom coming up and saying, "Hey, I'm sorry for this, that, like, I'm sorry that, I didn't approve of your painting."
Well, that didn't really happen. That was just a quick example. But let's talk about from what really happened. And the mom could say, "I'm sorry how much trouble you had."
Yeah, like, just say, "You want to work with me on it?" Like, just, like, trying to set some goals, like, and it's okay if she doesn't, like, find the exactly perfect job until she's, like, 32, but, like, at least work on it, like, so that she has some experience.
So adults call that, what you first started, we call that empathy. So we empathize with her, which is really powerful when you practice really stepping into what somebody's experiencing and you speak from that. And then maybe even part of empathy that I like is even sharing how you've felt that same fear in your life. And if you have overcome it, you know, what happened? Like, I think we all get afraid through transitions for sure, like going from junior high to senior high and elementary school to whatever. And we feel afraid, and then most of us do express our values. And something good happens as a result. You know, we get some positive feedback. But it sounds like she really lacked the positive feedback. So you're saying empathize, sit down, set some goals with her. And again, maybe